Hi, YouTube. It's Angela. We're going to do a soul guidance reading for this week of September 25th, I guess, or so. But, these readings are evergreen. So whenever you come upon them, they're meant for you to hear at that time and, to consider, growing or establishing or filling out a certain aspect of yourself that maybe you haven't considered before, or maybe you kind of put aside for another time. So this week we are going to work on, well, we're pulling from the Dream Weaver's Oracle, perfect for us grounded dreamers, right? By Colette Baron Reed. And the card I pulled, believe it or not, is when a witch drinks their own brew. When a witch must drink their brew is actually what it says. This has the potential to be a profound moment to own your own magic. If the witch must drink her own brew, that's literally owning her own magic, instilling her magic to be within her, being fully yourself, nothing less, not succumbing sort of to the spell of society or expectation or whatever it is that's been sort of laid out, that you must behave this way, you must have, I don't know, this amount of money in the bank and this many homes and cars and whatever, any of those external, or you must behave in public, you must not speak your mind, or whatever those external expectations as you perceive them need to be sort of washed away so that you can claim your true expression. That it's not if you feel like you're somewhere and you don't fit in, if you're, I don't know, with a certain friend group or a certain situation and you feel I don't fit in, that is not a guidance for you to conform and change so that you do fit in. That means you may be in the wrong place or you have the people around you that don't relate to you, and so then you continue with your own truest expression, sort of like unapologetically being yourself wherever you are. And that's what's called for now. Own your magic. Own your magic. So I did a little Zen spread here, a little tarot spread, and we're going to go a little deeper into that. This is these cards. I mean, as I was shuffling and pulling these cards, sometimes I'll shuffle like by hand like this, and if things pop out, I take those. Well, this time I did, a shuffle and a fan. I fanned them out, and then my eye sort of just goes to the card that needs to be pulled. And the way these came out and the order in which they came out, it's kind of blowing me away. I love it. So here we go. Our starting point as it relates to owning your magic, being your true self everywhere you go. The first card I pulled is politics. This is that definitely, if you're living behind a mask or if you're not speaking your truth, where appropriate, it's time to drop the mask. It's time to, not worry about what others may think or how others may perceive you or what they believe about you. None of that really matters. So we get to start with dropping the mask and kind of drinking your own brew, right? Owning your magic. And I love that's how it started out. And then internally, the inner energy that supports this act or vibration of dropping your mask and dropping all pretense, the internal support that comes energetically is Thunderbolt. And this is doing away with those, extraneous layers that maybe you've sort of built around your true self in order, maybe for self-protection, maybe to avoid judgment, maybe to appease others and their expectations and what they need of you. Maybe these are loved ones that want you to behave a certain way and whatever. drop the mask, and you know within that it is time to shed some of these layers. It's time for a shakeup. So loving that. And now the combination of these two realizations of being able to be fully in your own vibration and presenting as however your truest expression must come through, the external result of that is the consciousness card. So yeah, because now your higher self is guiding you and allowing you to strip away those extra layers and those false layers, you know, the cover-ups, the masks, and be guided by your truest self, connected to the divine, connected to spirit, God, whatever that word is that you use. It's that connection to the unseen, but to that presence that is there guiding us. And I mean, what could be better? This is also a super intuitive, you know, like really relying on your intuition to carry you forward as you drink your own brew. I love that. I love this because as I started to use my intuition more and do card readings, I have a couple friends that tell me I'm a witch. They call me Witchy Poo. I don't know if you remember, there's an old show, whatever, I'm going off track, but HR Puffin stuff. And the witch there on the island it's a very short-lived series, but maybe you remember it. And she was Witchy Poo. And that's what my friends call me lovingly, is that, you know, when they're thinking of me, I'll call, and that kind of intuitive connection, which what they don't realize is they're just as much a Witchy Poo as me, because our vibrations are aligning, but that's for another day. But yeah, the witch drinks her own brew, meaning I own fully who I am and the magic that I can bring into my world. So the next card is going to be our sort of pivot and a way to raise this to another level, to a higher level of understanding and awareness. And that key vibration is the Lovers. What I got from this right away was self-compassion. It's actually being kind of mean to yourself if you continue to shroud and hide behind any kind of mask, or if you continue to behave or present in a way that others need you to in order for them to continue to like you or whatever. We all go through this. We all feel that we kind of want to conform to be accepted and feel like we belong, but we get it backwards, because you exist, therefore you belong. And all the other is really the human experience getting in the way, but you exist and therefore you belong. And so allowing for that truest expression of yourself and who you are to really be present and at the forefront of what the things you think and do and say, and the actions that you take and the people that you engage with, to allow yourself to be fully yourself, is the most compassionate thing you can do. It is using your heart for your own good, is just by being honest and authentic. We hear it a lot. We hear, you know, our authentic self but for me, it's less about, you know, the end result. Like, I'm authentic and this is what you see. It's really about working the inner workings and really aligning your own energies from within first, and really tapping into that and being in touch with it, right? That's that sort of self-compassion part, really being in touch with your truest nature, and then letting that come forward. And the end result and how others receive it is kind of secondary. It's kind of, it's not as important as the fact that you did get in touch, you aligned, you're grounded in who you are, and now here we go, right? Let me go out into the world and be the truest version of me that I can. So that's where the work starts. It's not in the face of it, you know, it's not, obviously, because then we get caught in that trap of oh, let me put this mask on for that person, and like that. So really getting in touch with what's right for you in all situations, in every moment, and listening to your feelings about that is important. Compassion. That's the key to a higher level of awareness. And so now we land in this higher level of awareness. And of course, these things, these lower energies, this sort of starting point vibration could be cyclical. We could have to return to removing the mask, and then maybe it gets put on again, or maybe if we're in a different group of people, we're a little more cautious of flying our own flag, right? And so we may return to this again, and that's okay. We just recycle through, knowing that some of these pretenses can be shed, and that it's safe for me to be the full version of me out in the world. So now we land on this higher level of awareness. And it's so funny because when I pulled this card, the Witch's Brew card, and was reading the little guidebook that came with it, and pulling in that vibration before I pulled the Zen cards, I thought of this card that's coming next. And sure enough, it came out, and it came out in our higher level of awareness position. And that's the rebel. This is not saying be rebellious and fight against, and, I don't care what you think, I'm going to power through. This is just releasing yourself from your own chains that have you tethered into a place that maybe isn't fully aligned with what you're actually feeling and what you feel you need to express, and releasing yourself from that, being your own guide, carrying your own torch, moving through, being unapologetically who you are, without aggression, without feeling that you need to railroad over people or, mow people down in order to be heard and seen. It's simply standing with your feet, your energetic feet straight under you, and being willing to honor, every layer and every part of you that needs to be honored. Like we said, remember, it comes right over that card. These cards were actually aligned. And if this was our starting point, and then we had the other cards on the side, and this was our pivot to get to the higher level, they actually align really well, because it's drop the mask, love yourself, and be. How much more clear could that be, right? So within you, the energy that supports this rebel energy is courage. This card, I've pulled it before. One of my favorites, because it is there isn't any action to take. This courage is not bravado. It's not busting through barriers and holding your ground and being forceful or any way like that. This is actually allowing for vulnerability and allowing for that deep covered, hard shelled seed that's down here in the boulders. It allows the water to trickle down and soften its outer edges, and it allows the sunlight to help it grow. It allows spirit to help it emerge. And there is a vulnerability in that. That seed could have stayed down there in that dark place with its hard protective shell forever and not really ever known any different and stayed protected. But instead, it allowed transformation to come. And being an inner energy, it's something internal that is within you that you're aware of, that maybe you don't ever express out. It's a perfect positioning for that card up against the rebel. Be yourself and allow your transformation to come through. Beautiful. And then this final card, what could be better? This is the sort of overview, outcome, recap of this entire reading. And it's also in the higher awareness external position. So this is now out in the world, the result of this inner work you did to realign your magic within. And the card is rebirth. So you get to, reinvent yourself, basically. This is my new version. This is my full version of who I am, and I'm bringing it forth into the world. this is the three stages that we sort of cycle through. You know, we're complacent, like the camel is representing sort of complacency, sort of 3D. I eat, I drink, I sleep. And then the lion is knowing that our energies must elevate in order to grow. And the lion starts to sort of roar and speak up for itself and go, hey, wait a minute, the way I've been doing this, or I've been the camel too long, I'm ready to make some changes, right? And then the child comes last as that sense of rebirth, of reinvention, right? We go through that cycle a lot. And then you're in this rebirth stage and you get comfortable with it. And then you're back to the complacency. And then it's time for another level. So this card has many layers to it. And of course, perfect positioning for this reading as we talk about drinking our own brew. I love that so much. Okay, now I'm going to pull a couple bonus cards. You know, I like to do this lately. I'm pulling from this Priestess of Light Oracle, and then a couple of the Zen cards that I'm going to pull. So yeah, this is great. I love this. I think this is really resonating with me right now, with just owning my own magic. I have sometimes, sometimes I have masks and labels, depending, I'm a mom and I'm this and I'm a bookkeeper and that. And I forget that the magic of who I am translates and applies to all these areas of my life, even though it may not seem like it. Like maybe being an intuitive guide doesn't really fit in with being a bookkeeper, which is my day job. But for sure, because the clients that I've attracted to myself, right, have all been super aligned with who I am. And so it all does fit. My true self is present in all of these situations in my life. And look what I pulled from this Priestess of Light Oracle. My goodness. Death and rebirth. Darkness to light, right? Let the magic up. Reinvent yourself and allow the transformation to come through. That magic that you have, that little spark of creativity, or that truth of who you are may have been in the dark for a while. You may have suppressed it or made it, hidden it from view for fear of the judgment that may come. And it is time now to allow it into the light and to just, like I said, fly your flag. What do they say? Fly your freak flag. Just be your full self. And those who don't accept and that reject or resist, it says more about them than you. I know, like, we're talking society as a whole, sometimes with certain people's magic that they carry, society can't understand it, and it doesn't fit in any category, so let's just ignore it, or let's reject it. But come on, there's a place for everyone. You were born, you are here, so you are worthy. It's law. Okay. All right, the two oracles that I pulled to go with this death and rebirth card, internal energy, is patience. Oh yeah. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with others as they start to witness the reinvention of you, or the transformation that you're bringing forth. It's all falling into place as it needs to. This woman, she's pregnant, right? She's not going to stay that way forever, and she knows it. And she has patience for when the time is right for the birth. And then the same with the cycle of the moon, right? We don't force that moon and get impatient with it. And why aren't you full yet? We know it comes with time, and we trust that it will come through. So as you start to unfold these layers of yourself and really start to show your truth and speak, your truth and become into your magic, just know it's a process, right? And maybe everyone won't accept it at first, or maybe even you are a little uncomfortable being able to speak out the way you really believe, or be in your full truth. But have that self-compassion on board and have patience. And then the in the external position, the Zen card I pulled to go with death and rebirth is creativity. Love it, because you're reinventing, creating your next phase of your experience here, and really from a deeper place of inspiration, being able to come forth with your ideas and your thoughts and your beliefs and who you are. So I love the way that unfolded. Transformation is the key, and own your magic, drink your own brew, right? I love it. Okay, that's it for now, and I'll see you soon.